That's in my website, wilderutopia.com. And so what we're facing here is destruction by popular demand. We have an addiction to oil in our society. The vast majority of the cars are driving on it. And the sources that we have are running out. So these type of extreme energy proposals, like taking an area of Alberta, Canada, the size of Florida, the boreal forest, that back in 1960, there were no roads, and the First Nations people out there lived their hunting and fishing and gathering way of life that they had done for ages. Now we're talking this massive land area that is considered the second largest recoverable oil source in the world, and also the second largest carbon sink in the world. We're talking a total of 175 billion barrels. That's what they say, considering the strip mining and in situ mining that they're looking at. But the potential that Shell Canada has said is possibly 2 trillion barrels of oil. So the oil industry is very hungry to continue this addiction and to continue feeding it to us. And it's a very water intensive process. Basically, it's anywhere from 4 to 7 barrels of water to get every barrel of oil. And that water comes from the rivers, it comes from underground, it comes from natural sources. It's also energy intensive. There's talk of putting a nuclear power plant to fuel this extraction process, because they basically dig out the sand, wash it intensively, heat it at high temperatures, add a bunch of chemicals to it, strain it out. Now all this water, excess water, gets drained into pools. We're talking, it covers an area 50 square miles in Alberta, these settling ponds, which will be there, I don't have the exact amount of time, but possibly decades, I don't know. But the process, it's an amazing an amazing engineering feat, basically. But unfortunately it leaks, and it may carry the vast amount of this toxic wash, but much of it is washing into the Athabascan River. So it's polluting communities, and then the Keystone XL pipeline itself, as we've said here, has major impacts. It crosses, it's basically, you need to get this oil to market. A lot of people say, well, this is for the United States to be completely energy self-sufficient. Well, that's unfortunately not true. It's these are, should I hurry up here? Anyways,
go on.
So you need to get it to market. So that's why they want to send it down to Texas. There's also a proposal to send it to British Columbia through pipelines, which these pipelines, there's already a Keystone pipeline that was built a few years ago through the Bush administration. In its first year of operation, it had 12 spills. The reason is that this is a very corrosive crude. It's called bitumen crude. It's basically, they have to heat it up. It's this sludge, and they add a bunch of chemicals to it, and it's heated, and it eats through these pipelines. And so if you're crossing the Ogallala Aquifer, they talk about rerouting it around the Ogallala Aquifer. That is impossible if you look at maps of Nebraska. So the impacts to land in Nebraska aren't going to go away, no matter what they say. Hey, we've got it covered. We found a new. So really, as has been said, the science. Not only I think, I don't know if I said, but it burns 2 to 3 times more carbon intensive than Saudi crude. So so we've got the climate impacts, we've got land impacts, and we have our sustainability impacts. So on my website, there's a couple different things I've put out. The Union of Concerned Scientists has an alternative energy proposal to basically completely cut out new oil, as well as coal, as well as nuclear, because what we really need to do is we need to cut transportation emissions of ozone-forming gases. We've got just let me get to my notes here, but anyways, we need an 80% drop from 2005 levels by 2050, and that is doable. As much politically, we've got some mountains to climb, but as far as the science goes, it is doable, and this could save consumers and businesses, according to the Union of Concerned Scientists, $464 billion annually by 2030. If you include the costs of investments there's still a savings, a significant savings of 255 billion. We need cap and trade policies. Now there's these meetings in Durban this coming week. I'm not sure anything's going to happen from it. I know I was only supposed to talk for 2 minutes, but yeah. I'll wrap it up. So we need cap and trade that auctions carbon allowances and takes that money that is invested by these polluters, because we need to make it more expensive to pollute, because this is an economy, it's based on money. It's not perfect, but when you take that money and invest it in alternative energy, anyways, I'll conclude.
I think these guys have to wrap up, but that was wonderful. Thank you.